All right, guys, so we're talking about going from average to apex. These are really common terms that we can use. But what do we talk about when we're beginning day number one? You're guy number one, you're missing direction. You might not, regardless of what your family situation is, things just aren't good structurally. How are we working from day number one for a guy who says, I want to go from average to apex?
So the first thing you have to address is that coming from a disfranchised family situation is a huge roadblock, and statistically, you have the odds against you. Now, here's what's interesting: the odds are against you only at that one specific time. A lot of the first generation millionaires, like you said, they came from crappy family situations, right? Everyone had to work, they're making minimum wage. Father may or may not be in the house, may or not be abusive, but they still made it uh, to where they were. They still did great things. Now, having a bad familial situation is temporary, in my opinion, because let's say you're born to a father who's an alcoholic, parents hate each other, there's not much money. Now, you could, if you play your cards right, get out of that predicament with time. You're not destined in that house forever, right? You may live in that crappy house for like 18 years, 0 to 18, but then once you're making enough money to get out of that house, they're no longer with you, right? You don't have to, you can associate with whom you choose from that family, but that abusive father or bad familial situation doesn't have to define you forever. Now, the problem that we see is that a lot of guys who get into drugs, alcohol, gangs, whatever, they do it as an escape from the house. Now, and the truth is too is that these people don't see an alternative, right? They see, okay, this is how life is. This is how life is always going to be. Life is always going to be like this. So it's easier for me to just cope with smoking weed and getting shit faced, right? It's easier for me to avoid reality because this is always going to be my reality. No, it's temporary. Yeah, it's hard. I totally understand. It's hard, guys, if you come from a bad home. But that doesn't have to be your fate. If you're a cat that's coming from a tough situation, don't have much money, don't have much support to do what you got to do, you got to maximize a couple things. Now, if you're a great athlete and you think you can make the sports league, by all means, but remember, we're talking to the average Joe, right? First outlet, or the first, let's say, climbing rope that you have access to is school. So if you do better in school, you can open up a lot of different avenues for you down the line. Even if you don't have a lot of money to pursue post secondaries, which have better hourly wages, you're making more money for your buck, you can still get grants and loans and get grant access into these institutions like software engineering, law, medical, whatever. As long as you have the marks, there's government assistance for you to get through. So money's not an issue, right? You don't have to think, oh, all the kids' dads pay for school. That's not exactly how it works. Now, how do you do well in school from a crappy house? So if you have to be out of the house a lot, you got to go to the library, right? Library is free. Should be a library on your block. Hit the library after school. Get some snacks. Try to bring some food. If money's even a little bit tight, bring some lunches from home. I'm sure everyone has access to food, or even in the countries we're talking to. Of course, obviously, it's not a reality for everyone, but you have to use your free resources, right? So, library should be where you're spending most of your time, or even the school library. Make it a habit, whether you're in grade 8, grade 11, university, even elementary school, to start hanging out at the library because you're going to meet decent company and you're also just going to be spending more time in your studies, which is going to allow you to excel down the way too, right? Once you start doing good in school, I've noticed this. Teachers are a lot more prone to help you. What does this mean? All of you guys could probably give an example of the guy in class who the teacher just hated. Hated the person, told him he wasn't going to be successful, picked on him, almost in a way contributed to the man's degeneracy by belittling him and degrading him so much. But if you start to shine, even from if you're from a bad home, generally teachers will start paying more attention to you and they'll help you out more. This could be showing you grants, allowing you certain access to rooms that are closed after school or lunch to do your work. They'll kind of almost act as trampolines once they see that you're taking life seriously. Now, there's some teachers are pricks, right? I had a lot of teachers who actually hated my guts because I was decently intelligent, but I didn't have to try that much. So they tried to sabotage me. They're just sick losers, and they will perish on their own accord. But in a lot of the cases, guys, teachers will help you out once you take initiative. Also, too, we talk about fitness and we talk about lifestyle. We talk about the mental game. The other two hobbies you should be adopting are reading and fitness. Don't have access to the gym. You can do. There's no shortage of Mike Tyson workouts where he just does workouts in jail. You can do workouts from the comfort of your living room, push-ups and bench dips, even jumping jacks, sit-ups. You'll have a pretty decent physique in 6 months if you do them consistently. And then reading. Libraries are free, right? Start reading half an hour a night before bed. You can do this at the library. You can do this, at your bedside table, whatever. But I promise you, with these 3 skills in your arsenal, there's no way that family is going to dictate your fate for forever. What's your topic?
I like that. All these points make sense. And this isn't just specific on your age bracket. If you're in, grade 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, all the way up to into your 50s, everyone wants to be having positive growth and moving forward in life. The same status holds true as you get older in life. You're trying to change your friendship group. You're trying to level up. You got to get your debt under control.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get your health under more control. You want to be in a position where you're making better decisions. Items like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym, like as you said. We can do calisthenics. There's no shortage of workouts that you can do coming to a park.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the library, that's for free. The aim here is to be focusing on internal development at all time. Why do we focus on internal development? We end up being on the internet watching these videos of guys giving advice that doesn't make any short or long-term sense, because people don't come in here and say to you, well, here's where I made my seed money from. Here's what I'm doing. Everyone wants to show you how successful I am and do what I'm doing or do what I say. Well, I'm not making money off of sex. I'm not turning in and making money by pretending I'm someone who I'm not. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to sell you fake it till you make it. We're saying make it till you make it.
Yeah.
How do you make it till you make it? It's every freaking day you're doing the exact same step. You hear this in the bodybuilding community. We eat the same meal every day until I get the results that I want. That's the same thing with reading. That's the same thing with waking up and saying, I'm just going to do morning stretches. I'm going to do some breathing exercises. Maybe we're going to do some mental meditation. Going from average to apex doesn't mean that you got to turn around and be someone in a movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Becoming strong, this whole topic of being stoic. Mm-hmm. Stoic is having control when you're in the fire. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, I'm going to bring this quality into my life, that quality into my life. But once you get into the fire of life, dealing with people day to day, that's how you're dealing with these matters. You're dealing with people from different energies, people of different temperaments, people who are going to come at you differently. People can tell when you're leveling up and they want to challenge you at that time. That's when these qualities that we're talking about, they come into play. What does reading teach you? Reading teaches you how to expand your vocabulary. Why are we against the use of AI? AI says they wrote it, not you wrote it. People can sniff a bullshit a mile away. Mm-hmm. You develop your qualities. People can smell movement, positive movement going forward right here. Not a mile away, right here. Because we don't encounter people like them in every day-to-day life, regardless of your age bracket. You're trying to be leveling up at school. Maybe you're outside of school. Maybe you missed that part in your life. Doesn't make a difference. Mm-hmm. When I'm traveling to work and I'm riding the train, I see a lot of early morning construction workers. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just on their phone, mm-hmm. or they're just they're sleeping because it's early morning.
Yeah.
Then you see the handful of good construction workers, and again, they're a handful. They exist over the years. They're reading books. Mm-hmm. And you look at these guys and you say, these are just rough and tough looking guys. Mm-hmm. And they're reading, and not self-help books, just general books. Mm-hmm. And I look at them and I say, and I've gotten to know a few of them on the train over the years. Mm-hmm. and they've got great minds. They're saying, this is just what I do for a living, but I'm developing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine where that person's going to be. And you don't see everyone every day, day over day, week over week.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you know that person taking that one positive step.
Yeah.
They're enhancing their group.
Yeah.
I work in a white collar field. These are blue collar guys.
Mm-hmm.
But we're having conversations based on a book because they see me reading.
Yeah.
How to become apex, do what's not average, do what the crowd is not doing.
Please like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend who needs